What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and today I'm making NFL Week 10 picks, so let's hop into it. And if you like this type of stuff and want to support the channel, please consider subscribing. It would really mean a lot to me. But anyway, last week my record was 6-8, so just another bad week for me. These past few weeks have definitely been up and down, a roller coaster ride, and I apologize for that. So hopefully we can just get on track and stay the course for the rest of the season. And the thing that really hurt me last week was I was on the wrong side of 6-1 score games, and that just sucks, and I apologize. So hopefully, once again, we get back on track, stay the course. And this week, four teams do have their bye. The Kansas City Chiefs, the Los Angeles Rams, the Miami Dolphins, and the Philadelphia Eagles are all on their bye. And after the conclusion of Week 9, we are now officially halfway through the NFL season, which is just crazy to think about. But anyway, let's hop straight into the picks. And on Thursday Night Football, we have the 1-7 Carolina Panthers at the 2-7 Chicago Bears. And I know the schedule is made way in advance, and I know they have the ability to flex some games out, but I don't know why they keep games like this in, as there are a bunch of better matchups that they could have put here. But hey, it is what it is. And to be honest with y'all, I'm not sure if Justin Fields is going to be back this game from his thumb injury or if it will be Tyson Bagent again for the Bears. The Panthers, their only win this season has come against the Texans a few weeks back against a fellow rookie quarterback in CJ Stroud. So this game, I don't think there's going to be a lot of fireworks. I think it's going to be a very low scoring game right here. Probably one of the more boring games to watch this weekend, but who knows? Maybe if these offenses just show up, show out, play to their full potential, it could be a good one. But regardless, I don't have super high hopes for this game right here, but I do have the Bears winning it by a score of 17-6. Then for the second straight week in a row, we have a game in Frankfurt, Germany. This time we have the Indianapolis Colts against the New England Patriots. The Patriots are the worst team in the AFC by a record standpoint, and that's just kind of hard to believe. Like, I wouldn't have believed that at the beginning of this season. They are definitely one of those teams that has underperformed so far. Maybe a change of scenery, a change of country can kind of shake them back into shape against the Colts right here, but I highly doubt that. The Colts, even though they're under 500 at 4-5 right here, they're still playing relatively good football. They're having good games. They're having close games. And the Colts right here, I don't think they're going to have much trouble with the Patriots at all if the Patriots just keep playing like they are. So I have the Colts winning this game in Germany right here by a score of 28-14. Then we have what could be the game of the week. We have the 4-4 Houston Texans on the road at the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals knocked off the Bills last week. The Texans had a crazy come from behind win against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. CJ Stroud broke a rookie record for like 470 passing yards in a game, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. So he played lights out. He played out of his mind. And this game could have some serious fireworks. Burrow, Stroud, some former Ohio State quarterbacks can go shot for shot with each other. And I think it'll be a fun, exciting game right here. Back and forth, high scoring. A big question mark in this game, though, will be the status of wide receiver Jamar Chase for the Bengals right here. He is listed as questionable for this game, so if he does not play, that just kind of sucks for the Bengals, as they will be without their top wide receiver. But regardless, with Joe Burrow playing the way he is, with the Bengals team as a whole playing the way they are, I don't think that really matters much. And their experience edges them over the Texans in this game. So even though I do believe the Texans will put up a good fight, keep this game close, I do have the Bengals winning a shootout right here by a score of 31-27. Then we have a battle of 5-4 teams. We have the New Orleans Saints on the road at the Minnesota Vikings. And Josh Dobbs came in for the Vikings last week and led them to a crazy win against the Atlanta Falcons. The Saints, on the other hand, took care of business against Chicago. And once again, this is another good game. I don't think it's going to be a fireworks shootout game like the Bengals-Texans game that we just talked about. But regardless, I do think it'll be a good NFC game right here. And Josh Dobbs will probably be the Vikings quarterback again for this game, as Jaren Hall got knocked out of the game with a concussion last week. But Josh Dobbs, even though he did play hero for the Vikings last week, he only had one previous win on the entire season, being the starting quarterback for the Cardinals this year. So I don't know how many wins the Vikings can stack with him at their quarterback. And they are playing good football right now. They are on a 4-game win streak. And the Saints, they're kind of coming out of their shell a little bit. After a slow offensive start to the season, they have scored 24 or more points in 4 of their previous 5 games right here. So they've kind of found their groove a little bit. And once again, I think this will be another good game right here. But I have the Saints on the road winning it against the Vikings right here by a score of 24-23. Then we have the Green Bay Packers on the road at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Both of these teams were able to win last week. The Packers really haven't been playing good football as of late. They did hang 20 on the Rams, and they had a pretty complete game last week. The Steelers, they just keep getting by. Their offense is one of the worst in the league with Matt Canada. Their defense, though, is one of the best, and they are definitely a team that is carried by their defense right here. Minkah Fitzpatrick, once again, is questionable for this game. I'm not sure if he will be back for this game, but once again, I don't think it really matters the way the Steelers team's playing. As long as they got TJ Watt wrecking this game, as long as their offense is serviceable and can put up around 20 points, I think they're in good standing for this game against the Packers right here. But with the lack of offense from kind of both of these teams, really, I do think this will be a low scoring game right here. The Steelers defense will definitely be making plays at some point, if not during the entire game. So I do have the Steelers winning this one at home against the Packers by a score of 20-13. And then we have the Tennessee Titans against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, two 3-5 teams. And honestly, this was probably one of the hardest games, in my opinion, to pick right here. Both of these teams, like I said, they're 3-5. They're not playing great. They're just kind of hanging on at this point. Tampa Bay, three straight losses, all by one score. So that's just been devastating for them. Tennessee, on the other hand, is 1-4 in their past 5 games. They also have three one-score losses. So both of these teams getting the short end of the stick right here. I know the Titans have kind of had a quarterback carousel. Ryan Tannehill going down. Malik Willis, Will Levis stepping in. Will Levis will probably be starting this game once again, and I don't think he's been playing bad. Some turnovers, just kind of rookie mistakes, kind of cost them the game against the Steelers last week, but still, he definitely has a ton of potential right here. The Buccaneers, like I said, three straight one-score losses. They got stunned last week by the Texans, and that's just got to be a deflating loss right there. They lost previously to the Bills by one score on a Hail Mary that probably could have been caught. So just once again, both of these teams short end of the sticks, devastating losses right here. But I am going to give this one right here to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I know they haven't been playing great. I know they're on a 3-game losing streak, but the tide has to turn eventually. And they've been playing good enough to win these games, but they've just been falling short. And I think this game they'll finally just get over the hump right here and win this one by a score of 24-16. Then we have a battle of an NFC heavyweight versus an AFC heavyweight. We have the San Francisco 49ers at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Both of these teams are coming off their bye week, so extra time to rest, extra time to prepare for this game right here. The 49ers did lose 3 in a row after a 5-0 start. They lost to the Browns, then they lost to the Vikings, then they lost to the Bengals. So they are looking to definitely get back in that win column. Jacksonville on the complete opposite end of the spectrum right here. They've won 5 straight games. They didn't lose at all during the month of October. So they're looking to just keep the win streak alive. So I do think this will be a really good game to watch. Once again, another one of these games where why didn't they put this one at Thursday Night Football? Why are we stuck with the Bears and Panthers? But regardless, this should definitely be a fun game to watch. I do think it'll be pretty high scoring right here. And this is another toss up game. Who's going to win it? I definitely think it's going to be another one of these one score games. So hopefully I am on the right side of this game right here. And I actually have the Jacksonville Jaguars winning it at home. I know the 49ers have lost 3 in a row, and that's super uncharacteristic of them. But at the same time, Jacksonville's no joke either. They're on a 5-game win streak. They're one of the best teams in the NFL. So is the 49ers going to break out of their slump and win a game, or is the Jaguars finally going to lose a game? And I have the Jaguars defending home field right here and winning a close one by a score of 26-23. Then we have an AFC North showdown. We have the Cleveland Browns on the road at the Baltimore Ravens, and this is their second matchup of the year as they've played each other once already in Cleveland. And Baltimore came away victorious in that game by a score of I want to say it was 28-3. The Browns were without quarterback Deshaun Watson in that game as Dorian Thompson-Robinson got thrusted into the game at the start of the game, kind of unprepared, and the Ravens took full advantage of that in a dominating win against the Browns. But Deshaun Watson will be back for this game for the Browns. The Browns are super banged up, will be without offensive tackle Jedrick Wills, which is just a hit on that offensive line. The Ravens, on the other hand, are one of the more healthy teams in the league right here. They got Odell Beckham back, who scored his first touchdown with the team last week. So I do think this is going to be a good, hard-fought game right here. These are divisional opponents. They know each other well. And I do think it will be much closer than the last game where Baltimore won by 25 points. Cleveland will definitely close that gap. Hopefully for the Browns, Deshaun Watson doesn't start out slow and can play great from the start right here. But I do have the old Browns, aka the Ravens right here, beating the new Browns by a score of 27-24. Then we have the Atlanta Falcons on the road at the Arizona Cardinals, and the Falcons lost a game that they probably should have won last week against the Minnesota Vikings. Josh Dobbs came in for the Vikings, played hero, and knocked off the Falcons in a game that they definitely should have won. The Cardinals, on the other hand, they got blown out. They didn't even score a point, so they got blown out and shut out by the Browns last week, 27-0 in Cleveland. They started rookie quarterback Clayton Tune. He got sacked 7 times. A bad game for the Cardinals, but what'd you expect starting a rookie quarterback against one of the best defenses in the NFL? But regardless, Kyler Murray should be back for this game, and it will be his first start of the season right here against the Falcons at home. Also, running back James Conner, his window to get off the IL has just opened, so there is a chance he could be back for this Falcons game, but I think that will probably activate him here in a week or two. So there is a chance he plays in this game, but I doubt it. But regardless, the Cardinals should have some offensive reinforcements coming in soon. But even though Kyler Murray should be coming back this week, I do have a hard time giving the Cardinals the win right here in this game, mainly because it is a new offensive system. So even though he's been their quarterback for a few years, it is a new system he needs to learn. There's going to be rust that needs to get knocked off. And I see the Falcons just taking full advantage of all that. So I have Atlanta going into Arizona and winning this game right here by a score of 21-17. And then we have another interesting game right here. We have the Detroit Lions at the Los Angeles Chargers. The Lions are coming off a bye last week. The Chargers coming off a win against the Jets on Monday Night Football. Both of these teams above 500. The Chargers are at 500 at 4-4, but Detroit, they're 6-2. One of the NFC's best teams right here. But once again, this was another one of those games that it really could go either way. It was super tough picking, but what swayed my decision in this game is the Chargers have kind of struggled against good teams this year. They've lost to the Chiefs. They've lost to the Cowboys. Granted, the Cowboys game was pretty close, but the Lions, on the other hand, they were able to knock off the Chiefs. They did get blown out by the Ravens. So they put up good showings against good teams. They've put up bad showings. The Chargers, on the other hand, they've beaten teams that they should have beaten. They've also lost to teams that they should have beaten. So based off these teams' track record, I am going to give the win right here to the Detroit Lions on the road right here by a score of 30-28. Then we have another divisional matchup right here. This time it is in the NFC East. We have the New York Giants on the road at the Dallas Cowboys. Both of these teams did lose last week. The Giants, Daniel Jones suffered an ACL injury, so he will be out the entire year. So that's a devastating blow to this Giants team that has definitely been lackluster this year. Tyrod Taylor, their backup quarterback, is already on the injured reserve, so they're down to their third string quarterback in DeVito, so he should be starting this game. The Giants might sign a quarterback here this upcoming week. I'm not too sure about that, just kind of as an insurance policy. The Cowboys, on the other hand, coming off a loss against the Eagles in a game where they kind of shot themselves in the foot. They had opportunities to win it, but they did fall short. And I do think this game right here is a great opportunity for the Cowboys to bounce back, get back in the win column with a win over a division rival right here. The Giants, their season is definitely shot. I do expect them to finish as one of the worst teams in the NFC. Probably be a bottom 10 draft pick right here. Just start building towards the future. But I do have the Cowboys winning a rather easy one right here at home by a score of 34-10. Then we have the Washington Commanders right here on the road at the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks got absolutely destroyed by the Baltimore Ravens last week. It was 37-3, just an absolute blowout. The Commanders, on the other hand, just escaped the Patriots right here, beating them by a score of 20-17. So just getting by one of the worst teams in the AFC right here. The Seahawks getting absolutely destroyed by one of the best teams in the AFC. So Seattle's looking to rebound, get back in the win column. The Commanders are looking to extend their win streak, get back to 500 right here. But a huge factor in this game right here is it is expected to rain during the entire duration of this game here in Seattle. So I expect it to be a run game, a low scoring game right here. And because of that, I do think that favors the Seahawks right here. So I do have the Seahawks winning this game right here by a score of 5-3. No, I'm just playing. I do have the Seahawks winning this game though, but I have them winning it by a score of 23-14. Then we have the New York Jets on the road at the Las Vegas Raiders for Sunday Night Football. The Jets lost on Monday Night Football last week to the Chargers. Raiders, on the other hand, they bounced back big time last week. They fired their head coach and McDaniels. They fired a lot of front office people. They brought in interim coach Antonio Pierce, and the Raiders went off for him. They put up 30. They absolutely blew out the Giants. And this Raiders team looked completely different with him at the helm. I know he's related to a bunch of players and they want to play for him. So that is just good news for the Raiders. The Jets, on the other hand, once again, just another lackluster performance last week. A bunch of turnovers, costly turnovers, I might add. So the Jets, like I said, they're just bobbing at 500, hoping to get Aaron Rodgers back this season, even though he tore his Achilles 2 months ago. He's way ahead of schedule on his return. So the Jets are just looking to stay serviceable, be around that 500 mark, get Rodgers back, and then maybe make a push towards the end. But the Raiders, they looked good last week. They looked like they wanted to play. They looked like they wanted to be there. They were clicking on all cylinders. So I'm giving this win right here to the Raiders on Sunday Night Football against the Jets by a score of 28-24. And then closing out the week on Monday Night Football, we have the Denver Broncos on the road at the Buffalo Bills. The Bills did just lose to the Bengals last week on Sunday Night Football. And the Bills, just a definite roller coaster ride this season. Are they contenders? Are they just pretending right here? I'm not sure. They just need to go out, have a couple of statement wins, string some wins together, cement themselves as one of the best teams in the AFC right here. Their division is still kind of open. The Dolphins aren't running away with it. So the Bills definitely have time to make a move. The Broncos, on the other hand, they are coming off their bye. They had a huge win the week before their bye against the Kansas City Chiefs. And this could be a definite trap game for the Bills right here. The Broncos, they're feeling good about themselves. They had an extra week to prepare for this game. They knocked off the Chiefs, so why not knock off the Bills next? So I do think this could be a trap game for the Bills, but I just don't see that happening. As Buffalo, I don't want to call this a must-win game for them, but they definitely need to win this game, and I have the Bills winning it right here by a score of 31-16. Yeah, those are my NFL Week 10 picks. Please let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Like the video, please subscribe to the channel. I will catch you with another video. God bless.